July 1, 2025 meeting of the Henderson City County Planning Commission to order. I want to welcome everybody. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate everybody's help as we work through this agenda. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Thank you. David Dixon.
Here.
Kevin Richard.
Here.
Bobby Jarrett.
Here.
Mac Arnold.
Here.
XR Royster.
Here.
Dickie Johnson.
Here.
Gary Gibson.
Here.
Gray Hodge.
Here.
Stacy Denton. Here. Kevin Herron.
Here.
Frank Boyette.
Here.
Heather Tates.
Here.
We got a quorum?
We do.
Very good. Looks like a
Full house.
full house. Thank you all, Commissioners, for joining us this evening. We've got a couple public hearing items. I'll entertain a motion to end the public hearing.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of going into public hearing, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? We are now in public hearing. First item of business is approval of the minutes from June 3. I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
Second. Motion.
We have a motion.
So
Second.
I'll second it, so moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Not all in favor of approving the minutes, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. The minutes are approved. The next item is rezoning 1177. Ms. Marks, you going to help us with that?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Rezoning 1177 submitted by Ecos Property LLC, Richard Kendall, Brian Crafton, and Michael Albrecht for the property located in Henderson County at 5245 Highway 416 West, being parcel ID number 79-75, containing approximately 1.17 acres. The applicants have requested a zoning change map amendment to rezone from residential R1 to highway commercial.
Excuse me. I think I might have jumped the gun a little bit. Considering the subject matter this evening and a decent crowd, I'm going to propose the following speaking guidelines that we've often used for these meetings. Bear with me and I'll read the proposal. If the Henderson City County Planning Commission regular meeting scheduled for 6 p.m. on Tuesday, July 1, 2025 has not been sooner concluded and adjourned, it will stop at 9 p.m. and by motion and vote of the Planning Commission may be, but is not required to be, continued. It may be reconvened the following night, Wednesday, July 2, 2025 at 6 p.m. and stop at 9 p.m. or on any other night agreed to by the Planning Commission. And by motion and vote of the Planning Commission, the meeting may also be continued and reconvened at 6 p.m. and stop at 9 p.m. thereafter at the pleasure of the Planning Commission. The Planning Commission will hear all evidence, comments, statements, positions, suggestions, and questions collectively called comments. Each presenter may or may not allow questions during their presentation at their discretion. All general comments will be heard at the end after all presentations by the staff and the applicant, unless the chairman elects otherwise or unless changed by vote of the Planning Commission. There will be no time limit on attorneys, and attorneys will present and comment first. We will begin with attorneys, then non-attorneys. Attorneys may ask questions directly. Questions from non-attorneys must be presented to the chairman either verbally or in writing, along with who the question is to be directed to, and the chairman will ask the question. That is, non-attorneys may not ask questions directly. Each non-attorney will initially be given 3 minutes to speak. After every non-attorney has had 3 minutes, if there are non-attorneys who would like additional time, an additional 3 minutes will be given, and this procedure will be repeated until everyone has had an opportunity to present all they desire to present. Speakers are asked not to repeat something another speaker has said, but may come forward and say they agree with one or more other speakers and present anything new they might have. Planning commissioners may comment and ask questions at any time. The chairman will ask for a motion, second, discussion, and vote to approve or change the rules at the beginning of the public hearing. The Planning Commission may change these rules as the meeting goes along. That being said, I'll entertain a motion to approve these guidelines. Is there a motion and a second?
Yes.
All in favor say yes. All in favor of discussion. Any discussion? Additions or changes to present? If there's no discussion, all in favor of approving the rules as presented, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? We will do our best to follow those guidelines. Now, back to rezoning 1177. Sorry, Ms. Martin.
Yes, thank you. So just a quick recap, the applicants have submitted a zoning change map amendment for the address of 5245 Highway 416 West, parcel ID number 79-75, 5, they are requesting a rezoning from R1 residential to highway commercial. If you will look on the screen here, you will see the line, the parcel outlined in black. That is the parcel we are referring to here. As you can see in your staff report, the plan further down the line would be to consolidate that to this current, the purple here is highway commercial. So it's an existing zone highway commercial parcel there. Currently the structure on the highway commercial zone lot, the applicant is here to further explain what their plans are for that. And I have put a copy of the highway commercial requirements, zone requirements in front of you. Randy Tassett is on vacation, and so that way you can see the screening requirements and the uses and things like that that are allowed in highway commercial. If you guys have any questions on those, I will do my best to answer that. We do have findings of fact to read into the record, but as I said, the applicant is here as well as our attorney if you guys have further questions for them.
Okay, can you tell us what the current use is of the general business or the highway commercial zone?
Brian, you might have helped me on this one, but it's currently vacant, and it's been vacant for a while. The previous use,
The previous use, if I'm not mistaken, was retail sales of industrial equipment. If I remember correctly, it's been vacant for several years, I think.
Okay. Does the commission have any questions for staff? Okay. If not, how can we help you, gentlemen? I need your name.
Oh, Mr. Chairman, Will Cartwright of Stoll Keenan Ogden.
That's
CartWright. I live in Evansville, Indiana, 451 Audubon Drive. Just moved. 451 Audubon Drive, Evansville, Indiana.
You can tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Good. What can you share with us?
So as Ms. Parks alluded to, this is just a rezoning of R1 to highway commercial. It'll be a consolidation of the two lots. We do appreciate the staff's favorable recommendation, but if not, I'll allow the applicant to kind of explain his use and his further development of the property.
Very good, we appreciate it. Your name, sir?
Brian Crafton, Crafton,
Your address?
1701 Adams Lane.
And you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. Thank you for being here, sir.
Sure. I had an idea. I own property out in Roberts, which is just off 136, about a mile and a half down the road. I have 25 acres out there, and I'm going to be building a house and what have you, and I currently own a place here in town. I drove by here the other day on the way to Madisonville, and I never knew this place existed. And I thought it would be interesting to turn it into a small cafe or restaurant. We don't have anything like that out there. And a lot of the people that I grew up with in the community, they thought that that might be a good idea. And so I went and took a look at the building, and it's very unique. It would be very easy to convert, and it has all of the existing things that you would need. I had structural engineers take a look. They say it's in fine condition. And the property is very unique. As it sits, 7976, which is already zoned highway commercial, that has all the access points to the road. And 7975, which sits adjacent, is actually a buffer between the next closest property. There's a tree line that cuts between, as you see, the lake and the 7976. And in 7975, it's not very, you can't tell very much, but on the far side, there is a line of trees and bushes that separate it. I really have no desire to expand into 7975, which I'm asking to rezone, for restaurant purposes. I like the land, but I would like to quite possibly in the future, when we decide how we're going to do this, maybe put a gazebo, maybe put some gardens and stuff where you could sit outside at the restaurant and look back there because it's secluded. And I couldn't do something like that if it wasn't rezoned to match it, because it would be residential. So at this particular point, I have no desire to expand over in there to encroach on the existing residence that's adjacent, but I would like to rezone it so that we could keep it as a buffer and utilize it if we want to.
Very good. Commission have any questions for this gentleman? Very good, thank you all. We may need you back, we'll see. If we have anybody else here this evening that would like to speak in favor of this rezoning? Do we have anybody here this evening who might have a different idea and have a question about this rezoning? No one else to speak in favor, no one to speak in opposition or with a question. Staff, I guess we have the findings of fact. If it's okay with the commission, we'll go ahead and have the staff read the proposed findings of fact and motion.
Again, rezoning 1177, submitted by Pecos Property LLC, Richard Kendall, Brian Crafton, and Michael Albany for the property located in Henderson County at 5245 Highway 416 West, being parcel identity 79-75, containing approximately 1.17 acres. The applicants have requested a zoning change map amendment to rezone from residential R1 to highway commercial. Proposed motion to be, I move that the planning commission recommend that the Henderson County Fiscal Court, the county, approve rezoning application 1177, changing the zoning classification from single-family residential district R1 to highway commercial for the subject property. I leave the motion open for other members of the planning commission to add findings of fact in support of this motion because although the proposed rezoning is not in agreement with the future land use map of the comprehensive plan, the existing zoning is inappropriate and the proposed zoning is appropriate because surrounding parcels are zoned in a similar nature. The parcel does have adequate infrastructure for the development. This development is in agreement with Goal 1, Objective A of the comprehensive plan, identify areas of opportunity for infill redevelopment and adaptive reuse that respect the area's context and design features. This development is in agreement with Goal 1, Objective C of the comprehensive plan, promote mixed-use neighborhoods to create a vibrant built environment.
Very good, thank you. Anyone else like to address this matter in any fashion? Commission have any questions? I'll entertain a motion in regard to rezoning 1177.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to adopt this draft motion and findings of fact as my final motion to approve.
Got a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, any further discussion? Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Kevin Richard.
Yes.
Bobby Jarrett. Yes. Mac Arnold.
Yes.
XR Royster.
Yes.
Dickie Johnson. Gary Gibson.
Yes.
Gray Hodge.
Yes.
Stacy Denton.
Yes.
Kevin Herron.
Yes.
Frank Boyette.
Yes.
Heather Tays.
Yes.
Very good, the motion passes. I'll entertain a motion to go out of public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of going out of public hearing, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? We're out of public hearing. The next item on the agenda is the June finance report. Mr. Thompson, going to help us with that?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. In front of you is the June financials. And as you remember, June 30th is the end of our fiscal year. So some of these numbers are subject to change as we go through the closing process. And I'm here, any questions you might have.
Any questions concerning the finance report? If the commission has no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve the finance report as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the finance report, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Finance report is approved. Moving on to the bond report. Ms. Martin.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. You'll see you have 4 items on the bond report for this month. The first item is Braxton Park Section 2, developer 8 properties. We currently hold a bond for sidewalks to be added into one remaining lot that is not developed yet. The recommendation is to extend that bond at 1 year, since again, that lot has not been developed. The second is Home Place of Henderson. We currently hold a bond for the removal of an entrance on Green River Road for $8,500. The recommendation is to extend that 1 year for the amount that we have it currently set at, because that has not been completed. The third project we've got is Bentley Point Section 1. We currently hold a bond for the roadways as well as the sidewalks. The recommendation is to extend that bond for 1 year. 40 of the 101 lots are complete, 9 are currently under construction. I believe we added 2 more just since when I put this one on paper. But we can reduce the bond amount to $306,889. The fourth and final project is South Main Development Mr. Cornwall's development down there. We currently hold a bond for an addition of an entrance, driveway, and sidewalks. The bond amount is $10,530. Recommendation is to release that bond. Work has been completed.
Very good, thank you. Any questions concerning the bond report? If the commission has no questions, I'll entertain a motion in regard to approving the bond report.
Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the bond report as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the bond report, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed? Very good. Bond report is complete. Next item is the Henderson County Solar LLC site plan. Mr. Bishop, can you tell us how we got to this point?
Yes, sir. Henderson County Solar LLC site plan submitted by Stellar Renewable Power LLC for the property located in Henderson County at 893 Lovers Lane and Highway 425, bypass parcel ID number 46-19.2, 2517 Wilson Station Road, parcel ID number 39-2-53, 5876 Highway 41A, parcel ID number 46-42, 6454 Highway 41A, parcel ID number 47-3 and 47-3.1, and 1773 Wilson Station Road, parcel ID number 39-2-64. The applicants are requesting site plan review and extension. The original site plan was approved in April of 2021. The Plan Commission may remember this was the very first site plan we had for a solar farm. It is now owned by Stellar Energy. The property or the project has been sold. The scope of the original proposal was 541 acres. The project is now 419 acres. The site plan was approved under the December 2019 Solar Energy Ordinance. You guys may remember that was updated in July of 2023. The rules changed a little bit. We changed the number of solar farms that were allowed. Originally, there was 3 separate types of solar farms. That is now reduced to 2, and the bonding requirement was increased for that. And since then, the fiscal court has to pass a moratorium in February of this year so that no new solar farms can be brought into Henderson County for a period of 2 years from the February date that was passed. This site plan was approved in April of 2021, and they have been in continuous contact with the Plan Commission and the staff. So our belief is that this is a continuation of the original April 2021 site plan approval.
So it's grandfathered, in other words.
I think that would be a good way to describe it.
Counselor, would you agree with that?
Yes, but the moratorium provides that anything that was on the books at that time is grandfathered, that's on the technical. Yes.
Okay, what would be the next step in the process?
The next step of the process from the Plan Commission is the site plan is approved. From there, the applicants would move forward with getting their building permit, and then they would also move forward with getting bonds on any local roads that they would use, as we've done with the other projects. So from a Plan Commission standpoint, there's not a lot for us to do other than collect the bond for the reclamation.
Is this in the city or county?
It's in the county. It's just outside the 425 bypass area. You'll notice, Mr. Chairman, on the map, it is to the northeast of the current Pratt property, and then it is to the south and southwest of Highway 425 and extends over to Wilson Station Road.
Okay, the entire proposal is in the county?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. But in either case, fiscal court is not going to be involved any further after
Correct.
this?
The Plan Commission approves the site plans and is not subject to fiscal court or Board of Commissioners approval.
Okay. We are not in public hearing, but I have a sense that there's some folks here who might want to speak. So if we have anybody who would like to speak in favor of this project or answer questions, does the commission have questions for staff? Anybody who'd like to speak in favor of this project or explain things?
Well, I guess maybe I've got one question is, under the previous owner, if the bonding, was there any bonding set on this project?
The bonding amount, Jennifer, you may remember this better than I do. The previous bonding was 1% of the estimated construction cost. That has most likely changed since the original meeting. So the bonding would be whatever today's, or whenever they go to their building permit, that construction cost price. It's 1% of that.
Okay, the previous owner had placed the bonds or that,
They had not placed the bonds yet because they had not submitted their building permit
Okay.
application.
so there's actually no bonding on it.
Not yet, because there's nothing to bond at this point.
Okay.
Thank you. Sir, your name?
My name is Randall Redding,
Your
and
address?
I'm a local attorney practicing at 127 North Main Street. I also live in Henderson, Kentucky at 1218 Adams Lane, and I'm representing Henderson Solar LLC. And with me is,
Do you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the
I
truth?
do,
Very good. Your name, sir?
Cale Warnett,
Your address?
14643 Dallas Parkway, Dallas, Texas.
Okay. And you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
there's not a great deal that we can add to this. I mean, obviously what this is a continuation of an existing approved site plan that's actually been approved twice. It came back in '21, was approved under Henderson Solar, came back in July of 2024, and was approved again. We attended that hearing and presented the entire presentation of it. It's a small, and so we're here just to ask for a continuation for an additional year so that the permitting and some of the additional information, the engineering reports can be completed so that we can apply for the permits to move forward with the project. Of interest to the project is, and how I became involved in it, it is a captive project with the city of Henderson, Kentucky under Henderson Municipal Power and Light. 100% of the power has been contracted with. Brad Bickett is here, general manager of Hempel, and can further explain that if you need that. But obviously, they're going to move the power into an existing substation, Substation 7, that is down on the end of South Green, and 100% of the power will then be serviced back into the customers, both residential, industry, and business, for the city of Henderson. So those contracts have been in the works now for a number of years. This has been a very complicated process. I'm sure you understand that this is a changing environment of which everyone is being challenged with. So they fully expect, I think, that we feel very comfortable that we will, within this extended period, be able to apply for the permitting, have the engineer reports. We've attended all of the site meetings, we've attended all of the LDC committee meetings, and we have worked diligently to try to make sure that we're being good stewards with this project. We've worked hard, and Cale can answer for the screening. There are very few residents. I think there are 8 residents on Lover's Lane, and we have worked with Randy Tassa to make sure that the screening has been approved so that that will be adequate both in the type of temporary screening and permanent screening, so that those individuals, both under egress, to be able to continue to use that property, is protected.
When do you expect, I understand this is speculative, when might a project like this come online?
We're expecting it to come online by the end of next year.
Okay.
End of '26.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for these gentlemen from the commission? Thank you all. We might remind you, anything else you want to
We
share?
will be here to answer any questions that any of the citizens may have for
Very
the
good.
commission.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else here this evening that would like to speak in favor of this, please? Your name, sir?
Brad Bickett. Address is 1213 Barrett Boulevard. That's the address of employment. I'm the general manager for Henderson Municipal Power and Light. I also reside in Henderson County.
So, excuse me, I'm sorry. You promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Good, good.
So we just want to expand a little bit on what Mr. Redding references, the fact that Henderson Municipal Power and Light entered into a contract with the developer. We actually requested that this project get built. We went through an RFP process, request for proposals. We selected the original developer, and the contract that we have executed is for a 20-year purchase. It's for purchase 100% of the power, and at the rate that will keep our power cost about where they are today. So it is a benefit, direct benefit to approximately 12,000 customers that Hempel serves in and around the city. And we're very much reliant on this as part of our overall portfolio and our mix of power supply contracts going forward. And just want to reinforce that fact.
Thank you. Any questions for this gentleman from the commission? Very good, thank you. Do we have anybody else here this evening that would like to speak in favor of this project? Thank you, sir. Your name, please,
Kevin Crowley,
and address,
5864 Highway 41A.
and you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Very good. What can you share with us?
I just got a few questions because I know I live next door to 5876 and we have a shared driveway into that property. So, and I haven't been approached on how they're gonna do the construction to get in and out of that property, if I'm gonna be blocked off and not be able to get, because there is a residence on that property. Trying to see it here. And I know they said something about they talked to the people on Lover's Lane to stop the runoff and everything like that, but the 5876 and 5864, there's a ditch line that separates the property, it's pretty much property boundary, and all the water comes off of both properties and meets there. So, and then we've got a lake back there that pretty much catches all of it, and there's a creek that runs back through there. And I'm just curious of what it's gonna look like and how we're gonna be able to share a driveway into this project.
Okay.
If you see the driveway, the one goes south to the two houses and one goes to the north. And we've got a strip that runs back there and there's a house back there and I'm not sure what all, we were under the understanding that 5876 was only the house. I'm not sure. Miss Shaw passed away and she's got two daughters and I know that property, I don't know what that property is doing now, and I don't know how much they've leased of it or what, but I'm just curious what it's gonna do to our property.
Okay, any other questions?
No.
Okay. Do we have someone here that could answer this gentleman's question?
Give us a minute to acclimate ourselves. Gene,
Yeah.
y'all come through.
Get oriented.
You want me to show you what okay. Here.
Gentlemen, would you make sure you speak into the microphone so we get it into the record,
Okay.
please?
Yeah.
If you look at,
You got a corner?
I can't see very well either. 46-41 is our property. And if you see the two driveways split, we've got a short, narrow strip that comes up to the highway and
Mr.
then
Cullen,
widens
do
up.
you want to use this on the screen?
Red button right there.
This is yours.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So that is our lake, and this ditch right here that runs south of the driveway there's a straight line, and then the water diverts into that lake, and then right in here is a ditch that runs all the way across the properties that catches everything else. All this back here is higher than this property here, so all the water runs into this right here, and there's a ditch that catches it all and brings it across our property. I mean, if they go in there and start stripping all that, I don't know where the water's gonna go.
Okay, so your question is about access and also,
What they're gonna do for the runoff, because,
Okay.
like I said, our driveways are shared right here at the bottom, and the only way into this property is between these two houses, and our driveway goes up there, so what are they gonna do to that entrance so we can still get in and out? Because I know they're gonna bring big trucks and big equipment in, which means bigger gravel and bigger rock, and I've seen 283 and 416, how they've done the accesses out there, which is fine for semis and big equipment, but, you know, a pickup truck or a car, you know, I've got a BMW, so it's not gonna run on, you know, number 3 gravel or riprap. So I'm just curious of how, if we can work together on something to. Yes, sir.
Okay, we want to protect Mr. Crawley, but we think, you can't see the solar project in any of these areas. I think we're going to be far enough away. We're not going to use any of the areas he's talking about that would affect his egress in any way. This is, you can't even, it's out of sight.
Right, it's.
So you're not gonna use this property?
Gentlemen, I'm sorry, you guys care to use the pointer, so that way everybody's.
You're not gonna use this property.
You're not using this?
No, sir.
Okay, so the map that shows what you are gonna use.
But that's 5876, which is listed on here.
Well, it may be that he did his down.
All the way back of that property.
Which that property runs
Yeah.
all the way back to here.
Do you know where you are in that map?
We would have chosen the address that is associated with the parcel ID number, so that's probably what it is. That parcel was part of the project, and the address is, so property that's being used is up here, address is being here. It's the same parcel, so we have to include it.
Okay, so they're gonna
Yep.
use the back side of it?
Correct.
And not the front side?
Kel, am I explaining this right?
Correctly? Okay, that's all I was curious about, was how we were gonna keep the entrance accessible for
But
vehicles.
none of his
and-
entrants are gonna be affected by this in any way, not during construction afterwards or otherwise.
Mr. Crowley, and one, Mr. Chairman, if I got, another reason why we use the address, we want to make sure we're giving an accurate description of the entire project.
Yes, yeah.
So that's
Okay,
probably
that-
where some of the confusion is.
That question, that answered everything I got.
Fair
What
question.
about,
Sounds good.
what about the runoff issue?
Well, that would be the other thing. I mean, if they're gonna use the back side of that property, I would assume that the existing creek or waterway would be adequate to catch it all. I mean, it's 10 foot deep. I mean, it can handle a lot of water, but I have seen it come out before. So,
Okay, so are you satisfied with the responses here?
as long as, I mean, if there is an issue with water runoff,
Well, can I jump in there and ask one question? Do you guys anticipate any increase in drainage going to that ditch?
I did not anticipate that, no.
okay. I'm satisfied at this point. I appreciate the time and
I would like
Steve.
to confirm that with our engineering team, but to my knowledge, no.
is there a way I can
Yes, sir.
contact you, get a
Yes.
card, and then
Yes,
we
sir.
can speak outside of this
Yes,
area?
sir.
Because my
Absolutely.
job and work is crazy, so.
Yes, sir. I'll give you a card after the meeting.
Sounds good. I'm satisfied.
Okay. Thank you all.
I appreciate the time.
Thank you, sir. Do we have anybody else here this evening that would like to speak in favor of this project? Okay, I'm not seeing anybody. Do we have anybody here this evening who'd like to speak in opposition or might have further questions? Yes, sir.
Earl Byrne, BYRNE,
Address?
11546, Highway 41A.
Okay, you promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Very good.
I do have a business located at 5921 Highway 41A. I've been in business since 1971. That's 54 years. Campground. Oddly, I benefit from any large construction job that comes to Henderson. Pratt, my campground was full 2.5 years. Pratt put me on the map, Google business website. But obviously, I know my opinion is not going to change anything. You don't want to hate change. Change is good for an area. It means money. But a lot of heritage, my campground. Behind me is Wedding Family Farm. Beside me is Mattingly Family Farm, Jim Bates Farm. Guys, a half mile south, Tim Alexander Peach Orchard. Who hasn't been there? So, just strictly opinion based. Obviously, I swore to tell the truth. And respect goes out to everybody for bringing this project. But, you know, my campground, people want peace, quiet, and they want a view. I do not have a golf course. I don't have a lake. I don't have a go-kart track. I've got peace. I've got quiet. I've got 10 acres. Right now, who am I for? Who is my business now? The folks that are building the solar project in Robertson and Seabury. So again, I benefit from this. That's the bold, hard truth. But many friends that live in Roberts, live in Seabury. Anybody, I try to have a non-biased ears. Anybody I speak with, when they speak about Roberts now, and if someone disagrees, you know, speak up. They say if you drive through there, it looks like a prison. I don't want my area, Cairo area, Highway 41A. I've got 54 acres, my home and my campground. That is my area. The least that you all should expect of me is to take pride in my area. My place is clean, my house is clean, my business is clean. I'm inspected by the health department. I have to do so much. So I don't want to be known over this big project as, you know, the solar area of Highway 41A. Roberts is not. I've never lived in Roberts. But it's changed that area forever. I don't want that area, that to happen to my area in 41A. I'm realistic. It brings money. I'm realistic. If you don't like coal, if you live in this area, you better like wind or solar. But I'm the guy, just like the rest of us, I don't want it in my backyard. That's just the bold hard truth. So obviously I'm against it. But again, obviously for disclosure, I'll benefit greatly from it. I charge $600 a month to park an RV on my ground. So I'll make money from this. But money is not everything. If there's anything I want you all to remember, money is not everything. So I wish there was a different way that these things could be tucked back out of people's neighborhoods. I hear the word screening. Man, drive through any solar farm project. The screening that was put there, nothing against what these guys said. We all try. But that screening does nothing in reality. It dies off, nobody replants. It's an eyesore. I'm just speaking strictly off the sleeve here. So I'm trying to protect my area. So I appreciate the option, or the, you know, being able to speak. But these projects, they change an area. And my dad raised me one way, and small enough where I didn't know what it meant. He said, always put back something better than it was before. Well, I had no idea what he meant. When I was 10 years old, Dad, can I borrow your tools? Put them back as good or better. Well, how do you put them back better? You put them back clean, you put them back organized. And I heard the word steward earlier, being a good land steward. I think Mr. Redding used that. Let's put things back better than how we found them. Solar project to me does not put them back better. I get it. It develops power. We gotta have power. We like AC. We like TV. It's common sense. But I am staunchly against this in my area. My campground, Smokey Robinson's grandmother used to live there. That means nothing to this committee, nothing to this crowd, but that's heritage of the area. I'm trying to protect that. So this here, I have to take up for it. I take up for my property. So with all due respect to the guys bringing it on, I understand why. I'm a business too, but I'm trying to protect my business. So yes, I am against it. Thanks for the time.
Well, thank you, sir. Thanks for your sincere opinions. We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Anybody have questions for the gentleman? Anybody this evening would like to speak? Anybody else? One way or the other? Okay, let's take a minute and decide if somebody doesn't want to add something. Okay. If there are no further comments, if the commission has no further questions for any party involved, I'll entertain a motion in regard to the Henderson County Solar LLE site plan.
Mr. Chairman, I just have one point I wanted to clarify. The action we're taking, we're making a motion to extend the review period. Is that it?
I would say it's best to extend the site plan approval 1 year.
It's already been approved once.
Been approved once. It's been approved multiple times.
Okay.
So, yep.
In other words, after approval, there's some kind of deadline.
Typically, so, and that's probably a good thing to say. The new version of the solar energy ordinance puts a deadline of 1 year. Prior to that, staff had worked with other solar companies and basically set the policy that 1 year, they would need to come back to the Planning Commission and give us an update because the technology was changing so fast. We didn't want to approve solar of this type, and then a year later, there's a whole different type of solar. So the applicant has been respecting the policy and the request of the Planning Commission staff.
It's a 1 year deadline to do what?
To come back and give an update to the Planning Commission and the Planning Commission staff.
Well, what do they need to accomplish?
Or, yes, or apply for a building permit.
Okay, that's, okay. So, no other comments or questions? Anybody come up with a satisfactory motion?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve Henderson Solar LLC site plan, I guess, the extension.
If you would, the motion should be to extend the site.
Extend the site plan request. Do I need anything else?
For a period of 1 year, please.
For a period of 1 year.
We have a motion. We have a second? Second. Motion and a second. Madam Secretary, please call, further discussion. Sorry, further discussion. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Heather Tays.
Abstain.
Frank Boyette.
Yeah.
Kevin Herron.
Yes.
Stacy Denton. Yes. Ray Hodge.
Yes.
Gary Gibson.
Yes.
Dickie Johnson.
Yes.
XR Royster.
No.
Mac Arnold. Bobby Jarrett.
Yes.
Kevin Richard.
Yes. Very good, the motion passes. I think we have some administrative business we need to deal with.
Yes, sir.
Thank you all for all your help. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, the first thing I'd like to do is remind the Planning Commission members about our continuing education opportunity we have next week. That is going to be at 5:30. We have changed the location to the fiscal courtroom, which kind of leads into point.
Before we take up administrative business, does somebody have something else they'd like to bring forward this evening? Okay, very good. Go ahead.
So you may remember we discussed having continuing education, so that it's available to the Planning Commission, the elected officials, and the BOZA members of both city and county. Mr. Alex Van Pelt from the Kentucky Division of Water is going to come in and give us an overview of floodplain management. We thought that was timely after the April flooding. I know you guys hear a lot of us throw around terms like floodplain, BFE. Alex does a really good job of explaining that from the state level. Since the Peabody building's struggling with air conditioning, to put it nicely, we have secured the fiscal court room. So we will be there at 5:30 to 7:30 for 2 hours of free continuing education. Which
date again?
Wednesday, July 9th, 5:30 to 7:30. Which leads to my second point is we are currently working with the city and county IT folks. Since the Peabody building is getting to where it's an issue from an environmental standpoint, last week the internal temperature of the Peabody building was at 91 degrees at one point. So we will be working on a temporary relocation to the old Hempel building at 5th and Water. We are currently working through the details with the goal of being there in a week and a half. So we will keep you posted on that process. We will still be able to receive emails. We will still have our phones going there. The only inconvenience we hope to the public is if someone comes in and we don't have access to our paper files that we currently do. It may delay getting answers to some folks because we'll have to leave there, go to the Peabody building, pick up what we need and come back. So at this point, it's us just making the best of a bit of a situation that we have no control over. Speaking to the city folks, they expect the air conditioning will not be fully functioning anywhere from 12 months to 18 months.
You're kidding.
What about heat?
I'm sorry.
What about heat?
My understanding from the conversation I've had is that the heat is a different system, so that once the temperatures kind of quell down through the summer, we will move back to our permanent space, and heat hopefully is not a problem.
Okay, so if you want to pay a visit to the planning office, you better call ahead, right?
Make it quick.
Make it quick.
And make it
Put all that
quick.
trouble, it might make it long. Okay, Ms. Marks, I think you have something to add as far as administrative business.
Yes, so at your seats there, you were given a copy of the executive director evaluation form since that time of year again. I've also included an envelope, so all you gotta do is fill it out, and put it in the mail, and you can drop it off, and I will go ahead and send out a digital format to you all tomorrow as well, so that way you can even do it via email and send it back. If you could have those back to me, and I'll send an email with a reminder by July 25th, so that way I can get all that done, meet with the executive committee before the August meeting, and we'll move forward from there. If you have any questions, of course, just call me or email me.
Any questions? Any questions on any of these administrative business items? Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring forward this evening for the good of the cause? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second. Motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor of adjournment, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed? Very good. We stand adjourned. Thanks for all your help, folks. Thank you.
That was going to be much longer.